Welcome to the official housing market podcast of the Massachusetts Association of Realtors. My name is Eric Berman, and I am your host and the association's communications director. I'm joined today, as I am always, by our 2016 president, Annie Blatz. Annie is the branch executive and designated realtor at Kinlan Grover Real Estate on Cape Cod. Hello, Annie, and thank you for joining me to discuss the April 26 housing numbers.
Good afternoon, Eric, and thank you for having me.
All right, well, here we go. For the first question, let's start with sales, which is the question I normally start with. And there's no big surprise. They're up again for the fourth straight month in 2016. The question is, how long can this trend continue?
I wish I had the answer to that, but this is all about demand. Homes are being snapped up as soon as they hit the market. Open houses can be crazy busy if the home for sale even makes it to the open house. The overall market conditions remain the same. Interest rates are very low, there are a lack of homes for sale, and people want to live here. Until any one of those factors change, these are the conditions that we're going to be faced with.
Okay, thank you for that answer. Now let's talk prices. April median prices were up close to 8% for both single-family homes and condos. So why?
Well, I think there are two factors at play here. We're seeing the typical spring market increases that we normally do. Median prices typically top out in July, August, and September each year. And we're also still comparing April prices to a month in 2015 that saw prices lower than they would have been if the winter had been mild instead of covered in 100 plus inches of snow.
Okay, so I guess my real question is, are you tired of talking about last year's winter yet?
Well, yes and no. While I'm tired of talking about it, I much prefer talking about it than having to shovel it.
Well, agreed there. Yes, no fun shoveling at all. Now, inventory is down again, and that's not new. What's interesting is that new listings added to the market were down over 14% for single-family homes and close to 16% for condos. So why did this happen after several months of increases?
Well, Eric, that's really a good question. However, I think the answer is again related to the weather. Last April, while still under snow, sellers couldn't wait to get their homes on the market. And as soon as it seemed that we were in the clear, the number of new listings spiked. As a result, I think you're seeing that in the April numbers. Because of our mild winter, sellers didn't wait until the spring market to list. As I've said before, the spring market essentially started in January. However, this will be a data point that we'll continue to watch, and I'll ask realtors across the state what they're seeing too.
Okay. Now for my last question, I wanted to check in on how closings are going since the new closing requirements went into effect last October 3rd.
Well, for our listeners who might not be familiar, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau imposed new regulations on closings called TRID. Now, this is a mouthful. TILA, RESPA, Integrated Disclosure. That's TRID.
Yes.
TILA stands for Truth in Lending Act, and RESPA stands for Real Estate Settlement Procedures Act. The goal of TRID is to provide more transparency to consumers, and from what I've heard, it's working. The issue was the transition to the new requirements. And since November, we've been asking our members who respond to our monthly survey about it. And this is slightly before the 50-point mark, which is midway between a score of closings are going much smoother than anticipated at 100 points to closings are going much worse than anticipated, which is 0 points. Hence, we're right in the middle of that. We provide a lot of education for our members prior to the new changes, and that certainly helped our realtor members be prepared.
Okay, that was a good update, Annie. Thank you very much. And guess what? That's all I have for this brief podcast this month. I look forward to speaking with you next month. Thank you again.
Thank you.